And hello, everybody, and hopefully you can hear me. I think I've got my microphone working correctly today. How's everybody's week been? It's been hectic here this weekend. It was supposed to be today streaming for the first time on the great new machine, well, old machine, but set up so that I could do a nice stream. And, well, if it could go wrong, it kind of did go wrong. So I've now got two machines in various states of disrepair sitting behind my monitors. And hopefully I'm going to get the bits I need this week. And then I can start to do another code session maybe. It's something I really enjoyed doing last week, but wow, that slowed my machine down. So I think I've got to set it up properly before I try that one again. But fingers crossed, we'll get there. It's coming soon. Today, we're back to Lego, which is going to be so much fun. I am going to be doing... Hey, Martin, welcome. Yes, I think the build progress is possibly going to be a little bit disappointing compared to the last time I was streaming because I'm deliberately not building this on any time other than a stream. But, we're going to get the last generic bag done today, which should have the bonnet, the lights, all the rest of it finished. And then I'm going to leave it for a week. And next week, Martin and I are going to be doing a joint build to do both the turbo and the Targa variants. And we're going to be doing that in tandem. And we are going to be doing sorting first. We've got a nice bag full of Lego here that we need to get sorted out before we can start. Depending on how long it takes to do this bag, I've also got down here by the side of me the Mandalorian. Can we hold that up to that? Now, this is a BrickHeadz set that I got for my birthday last year, and I built last year. And I think it was for the FTW conference this year. That's when I first did Lego building live with people watching me. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a bit of practice. I want to build the set for the first time during the stream, but let's just do a little bit of practice first and see how it goes. So I dismantled the Mandalorian and the baby, and I put them together quite badly. And I had bits left over, and I had bits that were missing. So I dismantled them each in turn and put them together, and I had different bits left over, and I had different bits missing. So I thought, after we've done the 9/11 today, let's see whether or not we can dismantle the baby and the Mandalorian, start to put them together, and see whether or not I can find those missing pieces. Now, interestingly enough today, because I knew that everything was going to be a nightmare to set up because of dismantling it all last week, I got ready in plenty of time. Normally, I am stressing just a little bit, and I'm always late getting ready. This week, I was really early. But because I was really early and because I wasn't stressing, I've not done everything I need to do. So before we start to build, I just need to step off stream for a second and, actually get the 9/11 so that we can add bits to it. And apparently, I also need to let my cat out because the cat's in the office today and he's scratching at the door. And if I don't let him out, he is going to jump on the table and start batting Lego over the room. 2 seconds. And we are back. So here's our Porsche fan last week. We have the doors finished, and I just about had enough time to finish off the rebuilding to make sure that the doors would close. Now we just need to build the bonnet for the front to make sure that next week we're all set to go building the Targa top. So first things first, let's switch to the right camera. Ta-da! It's nice when things almost work. Apparently I've hit that camera or it's just getting really loose because I've had to adjust it like 4 or 5 times today and it's still not in the right place. I think next month I might get one of the absolute T-cam. I might be moved to the Netherlands, but I still like my tea. And you may notice it's English tea. It's dark. It's got milk in it. It's delicious. It's a little bit cold now, but it's okay. And not saying that my office is messy or anything, but you just saw the old paper on the floor there that was taking up the desk that I built the computer on yesterday. Oh yes, it's got milk in it because we need milk in tea. Like I say, I absolutely adore it here in Holland, but there's some things that I just can't get into, and tea without milk is one of them. Right, let's get our bag, shall we? And our book. And apparently our tires. So we have our book. I think we're about to be invaded by a cat again. And I think we're on bag 7. Let's have a look-see, shall we? That's the target up. That's Axos. Right, so there's the time to choose, and that's bags 8 and 9. So, where does bag 7 start? Bag 7. Now let's see if I can remember today to actually start from, this point, the place where we're supposed to start. I'm going to put the Porsche out of the way at the back of my desk. I know you can't see it very well there. I will get this camera angle sorted at some point, I promise. We need milk in milk, not milk in tea. No, we need milk in everything. We need milk in milk, we need milk in tea, and we need milk in cappuccino. Actually, I'm really bad. I love Italian coffee and I love Italy, but I always do the really touristy thing and I order cappuccino in the afternoon. I am so sorry. That's empty then. Let's put that out of the way. And a little bit. Now this doesn't look like that many bits before I start sorting. I wonder whether or not it's going to be a tricky bag or whether or not we're going to fly through this one. Let's find out, shall we? Can go up the side too. I do clear up the plastic at night. It's only paper that I'll leave lying on the floor. Right then, let's see what we got here. We have some headlights. I must admit, those headlights are actually bigger than I was expecting. We have some planks. Some grey bars. You really can't see those that well, can you? We have our first snot of the bag. Kind of plank snot. And then we have some nice curved bits, make it look nice. Don't throw it on the floor. I can't blame the cat if the cat's not in the room, so I can't throw it on the floor. Some more planks. Some upside down slopes. I wonder where they're going to go. Some filled in windows. I'm actually kind of at a loss a little bit of where some of these things are going to go. Do you think that might be the middle of the bonnet? I think that might be the middle of the bonnet. The sorting took longer than the bag for bag 7, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm beginning to think that you might be right there. There's a lot of small fiddly bits that we're going to get to in a second. So that's going to be something that takes some time. I hate sorting the fiddly bits. The fiddly bits stick to your fingers, and then it's impossible to get them lined up nicely. I've got some curved bits here. 2, 3, 4 curved bits. Well, I wonder if that's going to be going around the corners somewhere, because it looks about the right diameter for our corners. We have some bits that we use to finish off the side of the cars underneath. In fact, we have another one of those. We have 3. Do we have 4? Have I missed one? Seems odd to only have 3. I would have expected 4. Some smaller versions. We have the reflectors for the lights. Or at least I assume they're going to be the reflectors for the lights. Can we make some space for those there? Some more filled-in windows. Some nice smooth planks. Some more upside-down slopes. In white this time. And only half the size. We have upright snots. Seriously, I never get bored of saying snot. It's very childish. Ah! Lego across the room and make weird noises. Because what's life if you can't make weird noises? Here we go. We have some more bits here. Oh God, I'm going to start singing in a second. I'll try not to. That would put you all off for life. We have more upright snot. Then we have the hinges, so that we can open our frunk. 1, 2, 4 hinges. I'm assuming that's so that we can open the frunk. It kind of makes sense. There we go. Didn't I say we should have 4 of these? Set. Well, we're getting there. Now we're getting to the really annoying bits to kind of sort. A couple of hooks. 2 more 1x3 black planks. The last 2 curved bits. Some binoculars. Not binoculars. Telescopes. Telescopes, table legs, balustrade, supports in the modular buildings. These things can be anything. Some sloping vents. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 2. And apparently I've thrown blue doppies over the place. And then we have 4 of these single block Technics pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can always tell the bits that aren't actually going to be visible because they're the bits that get all the wonderful primary colors. Some yellow hinges. Some more curvy bits, but there really is only 3 of those. Some curvy sideways blocks. Yeah, that'll do. Some corner pieces. I'm going to say, there's actually more here than I thought there was. When I emptied out the bag, it really didn't seem that much, but there's a lot of small fiddly pieces. Let's get these dots organized. Oh dear. Let's get these doppies organized. Let's try and put them a little bit safe back here, shall we? Because you just know I'm going to ping them across the room at some point. Clumsy, mixed with tiny little Lego pieces. It's not a match made in heaven. So Martin, next week when you join me, are you going to join me with some proper Dutch tea? Show me up. Go almost done with the sorting. There's an odd number of Doppies too. There we go, nearly done. Some proper Dutch tea. You are in Holland, right? Like I've not just assumed that from your name and got it totally wrong and going to need to apologize in a second. Right then, I think we're sorted here and ready to go. We've got a few bits I was really not expecting to see in this set, and I'm really curious as to where we're going to put them on the actual model. The main ones I'm looking forward to are these. I really want to see what we're going to do with these. Phew! I didn't get it wrong. Thank goodness for that. So no team, just juice. I can do juice too. Actually, since I moved to the Netherlands, I've drank a whole lot more juice than I used to. Right, let's get started. Step 281. I can't believe we've done so many steps already. And it looks like what we're going to be building here is one of the wheel arches to go over the front. So we're going to start with our black upside down slope and our blue bit. Yeah, the reds and blues, those little doppies, they just go everywhere. And because they're so small, they do just stick to your finger right up till the point where you really want them to stick to your finger. And then they go ding. So then we need one of these bars and one of these slopes for the other side. Put these together. I've not done this for 2 weeks. I can tell I'm out of practice remembering to get everything underneath the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Now I need to pick up one of these snots. I love instructions like this. Put the red doppia in the place that you can't see. I'm guessing that would mean back there. And then we need to build up the front of it. Like so. And stick this on the front. Okay, so the red doppia just makes sure that everything is one height to carry on. And then we need to get our Porsche out again. I am so going to drop this one of these days. Then you're going to see me cry live. And this drops into here. Yep, that's all connected up there. You know, you see it on the Lego, but you see it on real cars too. Cars always seem to be so smooth. And then you see it without that smooth skin on, and it's just a load of squares put together. I see it on my Spitfire when I open the bonnet on that. It's got this really low profile, smooth bonnet, kind of similar to a Porsche's bonnet. Right at the point when you open that bonnet, and then you've just got this big square lump underneath with the radiator in place, and it doesn't look anywhere near as spectacular. Right, build the other side up then. So we'll start with our blue and black piece. Then we'll put our bar on the side, making sure that we build it the opposite way than we did last time. Get our snot piece again. Now we put the red piece on the side that we can see. Build up the top. Lose a piece. Oh, I built that wrong. I built that wrong. The other one. I read it incorrectly. the square piece should actually go on the bit sticking out. We'll fix that in a second, shall we? And then this goes... I've built that totally wrong, haven't I? Let's try again. So that one needs to go on that side. The doppy needs to come on this side, and it slots in like that. And then this one comes into this side here. Nope, I've still built this wrong. Why have I can't build this correctly? Because that should go on. What am I doing wrong here? You know what? I did have that right originally. I had that right originally, and then I swapped it. It's because I was looking at it backwards. This is the point where not being able to tell left from right can get really confusing. I've done something wrong here. Give me 2 seconds. You were saying, Martin, about this one being quick? Right, so that goes there. And that one goes there. Is that right? Let's go back a step and check this out. Go back 2 steps and check it out even. Yeah, so that mounts so. And we bring that in here. That looks so much better. So it's actually mounting flush with the windscreen now. Now let's see if we can get the other one right, because I don't know what I've done with this one. Is it like that? It's like that. There we go. We'll get there eventually. In my defense, it's Sunday afternoon. Who's ready to think on a Sunday afternoon? Phew! Right, let's start on the next bit then. I guess we're going to be building the mounts for the lights soon. So we need to build 4 of these things. So we need our 4 snots, and we need our 4 vents. Can we get this one right first time? It should go slim to thick, top to bottom. There we go. Oh well, what's life if you can't make mistakes? Good thing about Lego is it's generally really easy to fix mistakes. And these need to mount like this. So we're mounting either side of the vent here, pointing forwards. And you know I'm going to knock those off at least once before we get them done right. Right, okay, here's where we use the windows. This looks a little bit interesting. So we need one of these filled in windows. We need one of our telescopes. We need 2 red doppiers. We need 1 red doppier. We need 2 blue doppiers. We need 1 of these white nets. And we need a 1x3 plank. So we put the red doppler on the end. We mount the window next to it. Then we do a blue doppler, the telescope, and the blue doppler. And then we finish it off with the round bit. And now we get to mount this onto the car underneath here, next to the steering. Like so. That looks so weird. It's right. I guess there's a wheel arch that sticks out over the edges there, because we've got that bit sticking out at the edge. Now for our next one, we're building the same thing, only the other way around, and using a black arch. So we need our second window, another telescope, a black arch, come back telescope, one red, and two blues, and a second 1x3. And yeah, the wheel arches really look the part. It's I've just cheated. I've just looked behind me at the box because I wanted to take a sneak peek ahead. They do look quite impressive. I'm looking forward to seeing just how they look in real life when they're done. So now we're going to build this one backwards again. So we start with our red doppler, and then we put our window in, our blue doppler, kind of similar to the old one, just the other way around, our telescope, and then we finish off with the black archway there. And that mount this one on, and that gives us our bumper coming up to meet the wheel arch. Okay, can go with this. Then we have to build the front of the wheel arch, so we're going to be building this bit here, I guess. And this one is made of a load of tiny bits. So we have our snot, one red doppler, one 1x2, two 1x3s, our upside down white slope, our incher, a grey bit that no one's going to see, a grey plank that no one's going to see, and a blue 1x2. And yeah, totally agree, Martin. It is wonderful to see how the Lego designers found just the right look. These people, seriously, they're geniuses. It's I can't imagine how to start building something like this. Well, not from scratch. Using a book is, I'm not going to say it's easy. I've just gone wrong so many times, but using a book's easy. But wow, to actually come up with something like this is really quite amazing. So put a red doppler on the back, and then we have to build a bit up. So we need to get our 2, put the 3 on top of it. Then we need to mount the 1 on top and make sure that it's square. And this gets mounted to the side here. I'm guessing the grey bit gets mounted behind like so. And we mount the other 3 on the side to make the width that we need to get across there. Mount the grey bar across the top. Add the blue 1x2. And put the wheel arch underneath. which should hopefully give it a little bit more strength than it had. And then we drop this in to here. And try not to destroy the rest of the front end whilst we're at it. Nice! We now have kind of a vaguely wheel arch shape. To 87, now we start to build it. That's what these circular bits are for. Let's add these together, shall we? So we build the sides across. Put that one doppia in the middle. Try and get it a little bit square. Yeah, I think that's about square. And we have one of our wheel arches done. Cool. Very, very cool. Now we need to turn the car around and do the same again. So we need another window, another telescope. We're starting from the front going backwards this time, so we need the black arch first. 1x3, 2 blue doppias, 1 red doppia. And then we get to put it together. So the red goes at the front. Then we put the window on, put a blue doppia on, the telescope, blue doppia, and then we put that on the top. And then we can mount that in the car like so. Cool. Yeah, no mark, no floor. It's, I guess I must be getting ready for a Jaw Live. You must have a busy day and few days ahead of you too. It's, I imagine you're going to need time to relax afterwards. And then for the last one, the last window, the last black 1x3, the last telescope, 1 red dot, 2 blue doppias, and a bit that I've lost. There we go. The last roundy bit. And then this is backwards to the other one. So we do the red doppia, the window, not the telescope. I was just about to say I've become a dab hand at this. Telescope on top. Last blue doppia. And then finish off with our curly bit. What have I just broken? I think in pushing this down, I've just flipped this black bit off of here. Said I was going to break it before I was done. Okay, there's our 2 wheel arches. Now we need to build the bit across it too. So you got Monday, Tuesday is the live rush. Is it on Tuesday and Monday you're building it up? It's, I must say, this one kind of passed me by. I've seen it over Twitter the last few days, but I completely missed it until then. And then recovery starts on Wednesday. I imagine it's one of those things that's really awesome to do, but wow, you're looking forward to the recovery. So we need our snot bit. We need our red doppia. A last 2 1x3 white planks. Our last 1x2 white plank. Our last upside down white slopey piece. Wah, wah. The last full height block and flat block and our last blue bit. So it's on Tuesday, going live 1 p.m. CET. I'm going to do my best to try and catch as much as possible. And yeah, I'd love to be a part of this next time. I really need to figure out how to stay on top of these things. The amount of stuff that I miss just because it passes me by completely is really depressing. Now, I'm going to be looking it up after I finish streaming today. I'm going to look it up and try and make sure I can organize some time around it. Right, so let's start with this one then. We need our red doppler at this end this time. Then we're going to build up our end plank. Make sure that that's square. Stick that on there. Now the overhang to the other side. Put the grey plank to the back. And then mount that on so. Mount the blue bit to the front this time. And then fix that off with the half of the wheel arch. And then that drops into place. So let's bring that into view, shall we? That drops into place like this. Awesome. So now we have the two wheel arches done, and then of course the next step is to build those spectacular flared arches on top. So we put the curves to each side. And then we drop that one in the middle. And we're kind of done. There we go. So that's the front wheel arches done. Now we get to build headlights. We get to build two headlights. I'm looking forward to this bit. We get to build two at once here. So we need 4 of these. Our 2 yellow hinges. Our 2 hooks. Our 2 pipes. 2 red dopplers. Figure out that I've not been doing this in the right order and I'm lost. 2 poles. 2 grey dopplers. And our reflectors. So the first thing we're going to do is build up our Technics pieces. Now, I'm going to be completely honest here, and I don't understand why they've made this. I do understand why they've made this into Technics pieces. It's because the pole's got to go through the middle here. I was wondering why this was a Technics piece and why not just use a standard block. But I see it now. Drop these in here. So there's our 2 base bits. Now we need to build up the top. So let's whack our hooks on top. Finish it off with the grey dopplers. Yep. And then we get to build the headlights themselves. So we add the reflectors behind the headlight. We push the bar through so it's smooth to the front. And then we stick it in the side of the doppler. There we go. That looks fairly cool. And then we repeat. Put it into the side with the doppler again. Then we need 1 red doppler on each of these hinges. 1, 2. Mount the hinges onto the headlights, so. And then we need to mount them on the car. Let's bring the car back. And these mount between these bits here. And then those vents just allow us to get just that right type of angle for those classic Porsche headlights sticking out the front. And that's starting to look like a Porsche without a bonnet on it now. And now we have to build up all of the inside of the lights. And for some reason, add these. So we need 10 of these planks here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's still 2 left to go somewhere else. Bring the car back across. We attach the headlights to the car using these sideways stones here. Which is odd because that doesn't fit, because it doesn't go that way, it goes to the outside. Right. The same on that side. And that's off camera. So that mounts so. And then we need to fill up all of the inside. So does it go all the way from the back to the front? It does. Well, that makes life easy, doesn't it? We just have to go right from here and carry on until it's done. Two, 3, 4, and 5. And then we go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I don't rip apart the entire wheel arch, we've just spent an age building. I sat that down right. Okay. Next step, we need to put the plates across the top. So we need, if I don't crush everything, these bits here. So we're going to build up from front to back. Because, of course, it doesn't connect all the way at the front. There's 2 pieces that it just floats. Nice. Oh, that's starting to look so cool. And we have a warning from Martin. Watch out when Watch out when pushing on the bonnet later. I pushed back the windshield section and it took apart the interior. I am now officially scared. If I can make a mistake like that, I am going to make a mistake like that. But before we get to the scary bits, we can finish off the outside. So, can we see that? Let me tip it to the side maybe. So the long sections go across the back. 1. Come on, you can do it. 2. And then we have a small one for the front. Flip it over and repeat. 1. Oops. 2. And then a little one for the front again. That looks so cool. I absolutely love that the designers have got those lines so right. That is amazing. And now we get to build that amazing bonnet. So we need our long plank without a lip and our 2 squares. And they mount flush in the middle. with a grey plank to the front, like so. And then we mount the two 2x3 grey planks in the middle, so we have one solid hole. And then we flip it around. We don't flip it around. Now we mount our hinges on the back to the outside, because that's where the hinges are mounted on the car as well. Mount our second grey plank to the front. Give ourselves a little bit of support there. And now we can start to make the wonderful rounded shape. So we get the 3 bits where I said I was surprised there's only 3. I now get why there's only 3. It's because it's for the bonnet at the back. Mount those on here. 1, 2, 3. One smooth bit across the middle, and our 2 smooth bits across the outside. And I see we're getting close to the end of the bag. There we go. Now we just need to build up the actual bonnet itself. Now, I'm going to do this completely the wrong way. I'm going to leave the middle bit till last because I want the Porsche emblem to kind of be the last bit that I put on the bonnet. So I'm also kind of going to go away from the rules a little bit. So let's build these to the outside. I am so going to regret this when it all snaps off in my hand in a couple of seconds. Let's mount our bonnet lip across the front. And that's it. Let's add. You know what? I'm going to add the emblem to the car after the bonnet is on the car. I really want that to be the last thing. So let's bring the car across here. Martin, you've scared me now. I am scared to push this onto the car for the fear of what I'm about to do to it. Fingers crossed. Now, stick my hands behind so that I can push against it. Then I'm not pushing against the dashboard, but I'm pushing against my fingers. There we go. And the last bit, our last bit of the Porsche for today, and the last bit of the generic build of the Porsche, the emblem in the middle. That looks fantastic. Tell me that doesn't look like a 911. Yay! Oh, seriously, I'm starting to sweat a little bit here. I thought I was going to ruin that one. Oh, that just looks so cool. You know something I'm going to miss, actually? Playing with it now and looking at it. If you look inside here, you can see all the little gears turning when you do the wheel. And you can see all those little Technics bits moving left and forward. Left and forward, left and right. That is going to be such a shame to have to destroy. Well, not to destroy, but to hide when we put the wheels on. So I'm glad I've got it on camera now, at least showing what it can look like. And that's it. That's the last bit of the 911 for, well, this week at least. I'm going to put that, see if I can keep that in shot just a little bit. There we go. We can have a duck-powered Porsche. I'm going to put my book away. I'm going to make sure that I don't lose the spare bits on the side. And well, we've only been going at it for 50 minutes, so let's take apart a Mandalorian and a Grogu and see whether or not I actually lost bits when I tried to do the build for the conference 2 months ago. See what we can find here. Put the book back into the box. We're gonna move these onto the computer for now, I think. Just so they don't get mixed up with the baby. Now, we got an amount of sorting to do here again, because I really do need to make sure that we sort these bits right. But the other thing that we've got to do is actually dismantle them first. So let's do this a little bit scarily. Let's drop the pieces onto the desk. Let's close the box so that you can see what it is that we should be building. Yeah, that's pretty much visible. And let's start with the teardown. I got my brick separator this week. I remembered to bring it with me. These things are amazing if you have to dismantle Lego, because you can really start to pull stuff apart and, yeah, throw it across the room as well. Why not? Seriously, trying to work on a camera that's upside down is really interesting. Okay, I don't actually rebuild models very often. Most of the time I build them and they stay built. But I think I might have to start changing that because, one, I can't afford to buy Lego all the time. And two, it's actually still quite good fun. I've rebuilt these ones like 3 times and I've enjoyed rebuilding them every time. Even if I'm missing bits and I'm still doing some stuff wrong. And by the way, whoever thought to put pink in the middle of a BrickHead, I don't know whether or not you're deliberately going for the brains look, but well done. Getting there, getting there. It's another one when it comes to actually sorting this in a second. I think the sorting's possibly going to take longer than the building. And I get the idea that when we start to sort, I may possibly have to take the Porsche out of the way. Otherwise, I'm just not going to have the space that I need. I've missed something here. I missed this one. Seriously, brick separators are cool. The first time I did this, I didn't have a brick separator on hand. I ripped every single one of my nails apart. I wasn't best typing. Ooh, these are always fun. I feel like I should have music for this bit. Maybe a little bit of Carl Franklin's music to code by whilst chilling. Ow. Yeah, that hurt, and that's why you have a brick separator in your hand, Stacey. Wow, this is such a complicated thing. You know, I say that I'm amazed at what they do with the Porsche 911 to put the Porsche 911 together, but it's got to be said, these BrickHeadz also have some really cool structures that they use to get everything put together. I mean, the amount of effort and time that must go into designing these things is still kind of amazing. Don't drop it. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to have to lose a portion in a second. Because I'm looking at how many pieces this is, and how many different pieces this is. And I think that laying this out properly might take a little bit of space. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, even with the brick separator, that hurt. And there is one Mandalorian reduced to a pile of plastic. This is the way. Right. I'm just going to get the portion out of the way so that I don't break it, and then I'll be back. 2 seconds. Let's move this over here. Okay, that's starting to look really cool on the shelf where it's sitting. Let's move that to that, and move our bricks here. We also have a little baggie of bricks, which we're going to be using for this one too. I'm going to put these at the back because these are a mixture of spare bits, actual real spare bits, and just bits that I don't know where they came from. Now, I'm not sure how it feels to be dismantling the baby. Still with a little pink bit in the middle for the brain. I don't know if that was deliberate or just, look of the draw. I do know that when I build the baby, I'm going to start with the baby because I know I'm going to make the most mistakes with that. Because every time I've built the baby, I've made mistakes with it. Definitely need music for this bit. I don't know how to talk about dismantling Lego and make it really interesting at the same time. So I'm just hoping instead that we can start to do the sorting again soon. Now we can start on the cradle. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's going. It's going. Ah! We're throwing Lego away. We're throwing Lego away. Just in case you're wondering, yes, I do have the books lying next to me to put this back together again. I did make sure I had those before I started this. Otherwise, that would have been really fun. Because maybe I actually need this for dismantling stuff too. There we go. And the second one. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. And there we have it. A pile of Lego that used to be 2 BrickHeadz. Right, I'm going to move the box out of the way because I fear I'm going to need a little bit of space here. Put the box out of the way to the side. And let's start to put this together. Let's finish off my cold tea. Wow, that's freezing. Where can I put it? We have a load of these grey ones going across the front. And they're going to be joined by some dark grey ones. And then we have the edges to the cradle. Our 2 base plates, of course. Some brown 2x4 planks, 1x3s, 2x2 snots, the hood for the cradle. Oh, wow. Okay, dismantling 2 BrickHeadz is really not good for arthritis. Oh, that's good. If you can put the Mandalorian music in your head, then you're one step ahead of me. I've got it in my head now too. Ooh, and an amount of pain in my hand. You know, I'd say growing old is not fun with the amount of pain that you get, but actually the arthritis in my hand has nothing to do with my age. I knew we had more of these bits left. Thought 6 wasn't enough. Some more of these. Our brains. A 1x4 big block. A couple of 1x2 blue snots. A load of black 1x4 planks. Well, I say a load, it's 3. It's not really a load, is it? Oops. This is quite enjoyable. I don't think I actually had time to sort out the Lego blocks like this last time I dismantled it, which may have something to do with all of the mistakes that I've made. Lots of Mandalorian armor coming up now. Who wants some Beskar steel? It's Beskar steel, isn't it? Some white snot, which I believe the white snot goes on the cradle. Some tall snot. Wowzer! This is a lot of bits. What was I thinking of? Lots of shiny black pieces. Seriously? I'm an idiot and I don't think through what I'm about to do. I have an idea we might be finishing off this, or I might be finishing this build off screen. Because getting this done in 50 minutes is kind of looking like a big ask right now. There we go. It's sticking to my fingers again. Lovely. Some more brown snot. Let's stack that up on top of the old one because we're running out of space now. So many different pieces. So what do you think? Build the baby first or build Mando first? Or shall we do it in the order of the books? Because the instruction books for this are ordered. Definitely music. I definitely need music for doing this. The only thing that I've got instead of music is a laptop sitting next to me that's starting to take off to get rid of the heat from the streaming. I think all the things that I've learned from streaming, the big one for me is kind of like, wow, it takes a lot of power to stream. It's kind of obvious in hindsight, but I don't think I'd really given it quite the credit that it deserved. And now we're getting into all of the nitty-gritty bits. Starts out so neat, and then it ends so not neat. I had some grey snot, didn't I? No? Is that the first grey snot? I did have a pile of those though, so we'll add that to the pile. Some red snot. Some more angle pieces. Wow. Stacey, what did you do? Seriously, what did you do? Okay, I said we might not have this built by the time I go off air in about 50 minutes. I might not even have it sorted by the time I go off air. This is so many pieces. And they're all tiny. Right, let's bring those out into the middle. Make more space for these lanterns. So we have a load of these. One, two, one, two, one, two. The last bit of Beskar steel. The last bit that I forgot to dismantle. Humongous amounts of doppies. I think I might just put all of the doppies together in one piece and just search for the right color at the right time. Because otherwise I'm never going to start building again. Just try and get the bigger bits sorted out. Or Grogu arms. Is that the first of that I have? I think it is. Some triangles, some more little bits. Last one of those. Some more grey 1x2s to go at the back. Seriously, wowza. What did you spend your weekend doing? Oh, you know, I just spent several hours trying to sort out humongous amounts of Lego. I'm throwing lightsabers across the room. Right, these little bits, I'm going to do potluck with these little bits. We're going to look for these as and when we need them and see whether or not it annoys me enough. Let's build the baby. That sounds so weird. So, as we might have guessed from the way that we took it apart, to start the baby, we need to get our mega massive bottom bits and stick them together. and step 2. Then we need 1 black plank and we need 1 shiny white plank. We put the white plank at the back and the black plank at the front. Then we need to get our white 2x6 over the black. And then we start to make the big plank that goes across the middle. So for that we need the yellow, beige yellow. And we're going to get some mud sand colored bits and stick them on the edge. And then we're going to get some light grey bits and stick them in the middle. And then we're going to stick them across here, like so. Next we need to get 2 3x2s, 2 of our brown snot, our mustard yellow brick, 1 mustard yellow 1x4, one that I appear to be missing, there it is, a grey 1x4, a sandy muddy 1x2, and a shiny 1x4. And then we get to build this lot up. So we put those together. That at the back allows that to come together. Put the grey at the front and the shiny white at the back. And then finish it off with this sandy coloured one at the edge there. Flip it over and put the snot into it. And don't forget the yellow bit, which I had forgotten. And then that mounts on here. And we have our first bit of snot on the baby. Then we need to build at the front. And this is a point where my studio lights are so not helping, because they're bouncing off of this in a really weird way. We need 2 1x2s with a doppler and 1 without. And we need these 2 brown planks. The 2 brown planks go along the outside. We build the middle up with a 1x2s. Send everything skedaddling across the room. And then we drop that to the side. We got our 2 mega snot pieces. Seriously, these are mega snot pieces. There's only one side that doesn't have studs. And they go either side of our cradle. These BrickHeadz sets are really so much fun to build. Once you've done the sorting, they go together quite quickly, but they're kind of so relaxing to do. Build the sides onto the cot. And then we need to make the rounded bits for the front and the back. So let's stick the cot to the side for a second. And we need 2 light grey 1x2s. And if I don't throw it across the room, we need these rounded bits, and we need to make 2 end plates. So we'll build it up like that. And then do the same. And that goes on the front and back of our cot. Like so. Next we need to make the hood. So for that we need our 2 domes, our base plate, and 2, let me check this carefully, non-metallic dopplers. So we build the front up like so. And then the doppies go in the corners. And that mounts on that sandy bit that we had left over. And now we need 2 triangles. Here we go. And they mount in front of the doppies that we just added on. And then we need to build the sides up. It looks like we do one side and then the other. So we need 1 mustard yellow, and we need 1 weird bit. We hang the hook over the front, so it goes over the bottom of that triangle. And then we do the mustard yellow underneath. And then we start to smooth it off. So underneath, we have 1 of these. And to the side, we have the shorter ones. And then we spin it around. And we do the same on the other side. So we'll start with the mustard yellow this time underneath. And then we'll get the bit to go over the triangle like so. And then we get to do the same as we did on the other side to start rounding this off. The big one to the underneath, 2 small ones to the side. And then it looks like we get to build the nice circle bits that go on the side. Now these circle bits, like I said, I have built this 3 times and I get these circle bits wrong every time. Let's see if I can build them right for the first time. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 of the white circles. And we need 4 of the yellow circles. Now the first bit's easy, because the first bit is we need to build our circle on the outside. So we do the white on one side, yellow on the other, and make sure it's a nice circle. Let's do the other one. We'll do the yellow on the top. Then we'll add the white. And then we'll try and make sure it's a nice circle again. Ish. And we have to mount this so the yellow is to the back. By Jove, I think I've actually got this right in one go. Famous last words. How are we doing for time? Half an hour to go. We're getting there. Oh, well. And I think that might actually be the cradle finish, because now we're building the base plate for it. Get rid of a little bit of dust off of that one. So we need our base plate, and our base plate is made of a 2x4 in the middle, and then to the outside, we just put 2 little strips, like so. We get our see-through supports. Mount the cradle to the top of it, because the cradle is supposed to float, so it's supposed to be see-through. And there we have it. The baby cradle. Now what we need is a Baby Yoda to put inside of it. And I know it's not Baby Yoda, but come on, that name's just so cute. So we'll start with, and this one is really quite interesting how it's all put together. It kind of almost spirals the way that it goes out. We need 3 sandy colored lanterns, and we mount those at the back. 2, 3, and make sure that they're kind of straight. Next, we need 2 lanterns to each side, and the black full height Angel in the middle. And then on the other side, we put the last 3 lanterns. I'm ready for the next set. So now we got 2 full height blocks, and we stick those on the sides here. And then we get 2 of our curved bits, and we mount those on the front, like so. And we get a sandy anchor, and put it in the middle. And then finish that off with a shiny bit. Then we turn it upside down. Here we get one of these round bits. We get a shiny 1x1 on top, and we stick that on this side. And then the other side we build up ever so slightly different. So we get our other round bit and put a sandy 1x2 underneath. We put an anchor in front of it. Yeah, kind of like so. And then we put our last shiny 1x2 on top, and that mounts in front. You know what? Let's finish off reading the instructions, shall we? I've needed 2 of these anchors, and one of them goes on the back here. I always make a mistake at this point. Always. And there we have the front of his cloak, I think. Now we get to build up his head. So we start with the little pink block. And behind that pink block, we get one of our tall snots and stick it out. Grey snots on each side. Like so. And now we start with the many of these blocks at the front. 1, 2, 3. So we have a square that we can start to build on. The Grogu green 1x2 and 3x2 and 1x3. That goes over the top like so. And then we get to build his face. Aww. With a 2x3, a 1x2 with 1 doppet in the middle, and then a shiny one directly in the middle. And then we need to find his eyes. There's one. And the big square goes at the top. And now we have a Grogu that can see. And we stick that on the front. Hello, Grogu. Then we flip him upside down and we start to build his arms. So we need our... I have another one of these somewhere. There it is. These go at the front with our sandy 1x3 at the side. Another anchor in the middle. Ow! A Stacy in lots of pain. Then we get our Grogu arms and put them into his sleeves. They stick out the front like that. And these point forwards because he's reaching for something. And then we need to build the lower half of his body. So he's still on his head, poor Grogu. we mount 2 1x2s front and back like that. Then we build some snot for the sides. And then we get some shiny plates, one for the front, one for the back, and then we flip him over again. We put the sides of his head up, like so, leaving space for his ears in a second, of course. And the same. No, we don't do the same on the other side yet. First of all, we're going to do the back. We're going to work around that way, are we? So for that, we get a 3x2 with 2 shiny 1x3s, and put the back of his head on. Spin around and do the other side. And then stick his ears on at the top. And I believe there we have the baby. And he slots inside there, like so. So we know we're not missing any parts of the baby. That's good. Now let's see whether or not we can build the Mandalorian inside of 30 minutes as well. So we'll put the baby book to the side. The baby book. Sounds so cool. Let's start the Mandalorian. So for there we need a 2x4, and we're going to stick a black 1x4 plank on the back. And then we stick the other 2x4 plank on front. Get our last 2 bits of brown snot. And we end up with a double height 4x4 block with snot on one side. Then we need 2 of our white snot, our last 2 upright snots, and 1 more of our grey 2x2 snots. So that goes on the black plank at the back, and the beige ones stick out to the side. And the whites go next to it like so. And then we start to build the rest of the front up. So we need 1 sandy 1x2, 1 rusty orange 1x2, and 1 brown 1x2 with a doppet on the front. The brown one goes on the front. The sand color goes behind, and the rusty orange goes in the middle where no one's ever going to see it. Now we get 2 bits, and I love this. I don't know if you can see it on the book. You got a little ding just on the side to let you know that this one should be a metallic doppia, and I think that is these. So we need 2 metallic doppias, and we need our sandy coloured 1x4. Put that one in first across the back, and then do the doppias in front of it. And then we get to build with 1 shiny brown Aintia, 1 shiny grey Aintia, 2 full height blocks, which is fun because I flicked one across the table, and another one of our 2x4 planks. So put that one on at the back, that's easiest. We'll put our doppias on the front. 1, 2. And then I'm guessing this is a Mandalorian's belt, is it? Because we have one that goes on the front and one that goes next to it, like so. That looks like a belt with a belt buckle to me. Now we get to build up the start of his face, I think. So we get one sandy 1x2, one burnt orange 1x2, our red snot, and we need 2 of these half round brown pieces. 1, 2, like so. And we get to build this one up first. So we start with the red, then the burnt orange, and then the sand. And then these go to the bottom, like so. Again, make sure that they're kind of lined up as they should be to get a nice semicircle. And then this mounts inside here. And then we need 2 backies. Not 2 backies, but 2 backies. And a sand block, a base sand block. Now this bit's where it gets quite cool, because in a minute we're about to mount the head upside down. And it's only held in by other things around it. It doesn't actually click onto anything. I think it's really neatly done. Next step is to add some more of these mega snots at the back. You can already see that the Mandalorian figure is a lot bigger than the baby figure. And then here we're making half of the front of his helmet. We're going to make this bit here, which is a nice, fun, complex piece. We're going to put the Mando out of the way for a second. We need some white snot, some dark sand. Then we need a dark grey carriage clock and a shiny angel. Carriage clock mounts on the front, and the angel goes on top. Next, we need one of these half shiny pieces, and that goes in front like this. Then we start building up the front. So we have one bit here, and then we have a brown angel that goes like so. Then we need to get the right triangle bit, because you've got multiple triangle bits. And I think that is the right side. And then we need a second triangle bit to go over the top. And there is half the Mandalorian's helmet. And this mounts inside of here simply by slotting into place. Look, it doesn't actually connect to anything, it just slots in. Now we get to build the other side. So we get some more snot. We put the sandy bit on the back to make it square. Our second carriage clock on the other side this time. Finish that off with a doppia. You may notice no black thing on this one, because that's going to slot in here like so. It doesn't need the black bit because it's already on this side. Finish off the front with the grey and the brown, and make sure that everything is lined up correctly. Our other triangle, and our other triangle that goes across the front of there. And that drops in like so. We're getting there. I think we might just about make this on time. So now we need the bit for on top, and for that we need a 2x3, some more dark sand across the top, and our 2 bits of blue snot for the side. And again, in a model like this, anytime you see a bright primary color, you know that's not going to be visible at the end of it. And this one mounts at the back. It doesn't quite touch down. Like I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the blue snot just overhangs the plank just a little tiny bit. And there's a little bit of a lip left over here as well. And it just about forces these bits to stay in place. And then we get to build the brains. So we need 1 2x2. We need the round bit, and we need the brains themselves. Like so. And that mounts in the middle of our Mandalorian. Next, we start to build up the side of his helmet. So we need 2 light grey corners, and we need the 2 black corners. And we mount them up to make them double size. And they mount on this blue snot here, so that the side can be built up upon, like so. And then we get the remainder of our mega snot, and we start to build at the front. So I have 2 at the front, we have 2 at the back, and we have 2 at the side. Now we can start building really the top of the helmet. Starting with the front bit, so we need 2 dark grey 1x2s, and our last 2 light grey triangles, and these go on the front. So the triangles come across here, and then we give them some eyebrows. And then we put his eyes into place. Now apparently I've scratched this piece because it's got a lovely mark right down the middle. And then we get the Beskar steel. We got some more 1x2s, and we make these flat, because obviously these are supposed to go across step things and make them a bit rounded. And mount that. Mount that the right way round. And try not to destroy the model completely. Let's try that one again, shall we? Put this eyebrow back. And it doesn't curve down towards his eyes, it curves up towards the top. Cool! We have a Mandalorian face! Yay! Now for the ears. We have a square bit in front, and we do a piece underneath. Then we get 2 triangles, and these go around here, with one last 1x2 to finish off the side. And then we build his arm. So for that we need a 2x2. We get the hook for his arm, which goes down. We get a shoulder pad. And we get a brown anchor. And that mounts on his side here. And then we need to build up the shiny side bit to his ears. So for this one, we need a shiny 1x2, a 1x2 with a doppler, and 2 silver top pieces. Let's go from the bottom up. Shiny bit, doppler bit, and then the semicircle at the top. Kind of like so. Then we roll onto his back. We get our last 2 2x4 planks, and we get 1 shiny doppler for his back. That's a shiny doppler. And we mount these 2 that way, vertically, and we put the shiny doppler on the top corner of this piece of snot here. Then we get a shiny 2x4. A couple more 1x2s either side. And then we need to find the grates. 1, 2 grates. And these go horizontally across the back to complete the back of his helmet. Then we build up the other side, kind of the same as we did the first one. So we start off with a square, and we put a 1x2 underneath it. Then we get our last 2 corner pieces to complete the top. And last but not least, our 1x2 for the side. And there we have pretty much a Mandalorian helmet. Starting to look like a Mandalorian now. Build up his other arm, which is slightly different to the previous one. One arm's pointed down, the other one's pointed forwards. So we get a 2x2. We'll mount, the arm in the middle like that. We get his shoulder pad and stripes like so. And a brown doppler for the back here. And that gets mounted on this side. See, this one we're pointing down, this one we're pointing forwards. And then we need to build the shiny bit the same as we had on the other side. So we need to get our 2 light grey corner pieces again. And we do shiny, doppler, round bit. And that, I think, is it. Flip him upside down and we start to build his legs up. So we have that weird piece. It's got kind of a hook in the front. We're going to mount to here. And then we build up a 1 leg. And for that we need a sandy piece. We need a rusty orangey sandy piece. We have the 1x1 snot for the side, a grey 1x1 doppler. We have a knee pad, and we have a grey 1x1. And that gets mounted on this side. We have 1 leg done. Now this is a point where I don't have everything. Let's see whether or not I have it now. We have a sandy grey, a sand and a grey 1x2. Then we have 2 hooks going out to the side. Make sure they're square. We have a kneecap that goes to the front. And we have a grey 1x1 to the side. And that mounts this side. Okay, so far so good. Flip him the right way up again. And let's make his hat now. We need our last 1x2. And we need 4 Beskar steel pieces. And we need 2 1x2s with a gutter. And we start by mounting the Beskar steel on the gutter. Then we put the square in the middle. Around the other side of the Beskar steel in the right direction. Put a gutter on the edge. And there's the top of his hat. It goes on like this. And there we have a Mandalorian head. Possibly complete. And now we get to build his cape. For that one we need 2 1x4 planks. We stick a black doppler at one end. And then we have this long curved piece. And we put a triangle on the other side, like so. Then we stick our 2 black 1x1 snots on the end so that we can mount it. And that gets mounted underneath that doppler. And there's the bottom of his cape flapping in the wind. And now we need to build up the top of his cape. And we do that with 1, 2, 3 curved bits to go on top. This 1x2 rounded piece to go in the middle. And there's the back of his cape done. Flip him over to his side. Now we have to be very careful how we build this because the next few pieces that we mount are not symmetrical. So we need 1 black 1x2 with a gutter. And we need a edge bit. And I think this way. See, we've got these 2 bits. And you've got to make sure you use the right one for the right side. And I think that one looks about right to me. Mount that on the side there. Flip him over to the other side, and then we repeat, but in the other direction. So here we have the rounded bit to that side. Then we have the other angled piece. We throw it across the room. And then mount it. Then we say that we've done it wrong, and we remake it. And we mount that there. So his cape is now complete and flapping in the wind. Now, the Mandalorian has a truly awesome gun in the series. That's what we get to build next. So we need a shiny candelabra, and we need the long rifle. We stick the rifle into the candelabra, and then we stick the hook at the end. His amazing rifle that he has. And that, if I don't miss a step, by putting this hook on the back so that we can mount this into the candelabra like so. And there's the Mandalorian with his trusty rifle, invisible over his shoulder. Now we get to put the last few bits on that really complete the look. We need a couple more shiny candelabras, which are going to be the lightsabers that he's taken off of Jedis, and they get mounted on his legs like so. He has binoculars, which we mount on his belt like so. And then we get to build his second gun, because why would you make do with just one? So stick the cone on the front. Then we do a black doppler. And we finish off with a last shiny doppler. And that goes in his outstretched hand. Like so. And then we build the base, which is built a little bit different to the other one, because of course he needs to stand on the outside, whereas Grogu needs to be in the middle. Put those on the edge, and that in the middle. And there we have it. The Mandalorian and Grogu BrickHeadz, built in about an hour, including all of the mega sorting and dismantling beforehand. and with way too many bits left over. But I'm not missing any bits this time. So yeah, that's kind of good. We'll put that back in a second. And so, looking at the time, that's like 4 minutes before I was planning on ending today. If Elgato does its thing, there we go. So, I just want to say thank you for joining me. It's next week, assuming the bits come for the computers. I'm hoping to do more live coding next week. So, fingers crossed for that one. It's hopefully I've got a package waiting for me downstairs, and that's half of it. And the rest of it should be coming in the week. Fingers crossed that that all works. In the meantime, Martin, good luck this week. I'm going to check it out downstairs now once I've finished tidying up the office from the building. And, well, until next Sunday, I wish you all the end of a very pleasant weekend. Doo-doo.